Hello guys, it is me again, it's HorrorFan34, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to, I guess, episode 4 of this series of videos. This is, of course, my discussion and collection videos where I show you guys a certain amount of DVDs in my collection that I own that are like of a certain actor, actress, or director, things like that. I've done 3 episodes so far. I've done one on Bruce Willis, I also did one on John Carpenter, and I also did, surprisingly enough, Andrew Dice Clay. So I figured for episode 4, because I figured why not go for someone who I have most of their movies in my collection, and that is without a doubt Arnold. I figured I'd do another action here. I did Bruce Willis, and why not do Arnold? Because Arnold deserves it. I own a majority of his films. I have the whole stack right here. So I'll be showing you guys all the films that I have that I own of Arnold. And I know you're probably thinking, yeah, I'll be clean shaven the next video. Don't worry, this beard is growing out really fast. So, and you can, yeah, I know. I'll be clean shaven. This will be going in the next video. I promise. I know. Just haven't had the time to shave. But that's not what this video is about. So this is on my entire collection of Arnold. So let's get to it. And I went through his filmography, and I did all these in order from the earliest to the later films of his that I have. So of course the first one I have here, of course, got to go with the classic, The Terminator. I think this is still my favorite Terminator film. I love this film a lot. Really love this movie. It was really the first one that, probably the biggest one that put Arnold on the map. You know, because he did the Conan films before this, but this was really the film that really propelled him into Hollywood. Was The Terminator. Directed by James Cameron. You have Linda Hamilton, Paul Winfield, Michael Biehn. So, fantastic film, The Terminator, and a great special edition DVD as well. But Terminator, classic. It's still my favorite Terminator film. Next here is another one of my favorites of his. It's a classic one, Commando, which was made the year after he did The Terminator. This was another really successful film for Arnold, I believe, Commando. Love this movie a lot of great action. Directed by Mark L. Lester. But I think this is one of Arnold's best movies. Just a lot of fun. You have a very young Alyssa Milano in here, where Arnold has to go save his daughter from the bad guys, and you know, the title says it all, Commando. Classic movie. Then you get to one of his best films, Predator. This was without a doubt another really big hit for Arnold. Predator came out during the summer of '87. Just a classic movie. Great lines, you know, get to the chopper, you know, and a great supporting cast of people like Carl Weathers, Shane Black. I mean, just a really good cast. And directed by John McTiernan, who did Die Hard 1 and 3, and another one of these, another Arnold film, which I'll get to later. But Predator, easily one of my favorites of Arnold. Next one here is, I think, one of Arnold's most underrated movies, and it's one of my personal favorites of all time. I love this movie a lot, The Running Man, which came out the same year as Predator, but I think this came out around the holiday season of '87, while Predator was in the summer of '87. So this film did not do that well when it came out, but I really do enjoy this film. It's a very underrated movie. It's one of my personal favorites of Arnold. It would definitely be in my top 5 of Arnold's films. This special edition sucks. This special edition DVD sucks because the second disc has nothing about the movie. The 2 commentaries are pretty worthless in my opinion. But this film deserves a lot more than this. This deserves a better DVD. I mean, it's great. Maria Conchita Alonso. You have Yaphet Kotto from Alien. Richard Dawson, the late great Richard Dawson as Killian. You know, Arnold as Ben Richards. Based on the novel by Stephen King, but he wrote it under Richard Bachman. But The Running Man deserves a lot better. I think deserves a lot more credit. It's very underrated, and it's a very entertaining film. I love The Running Man. And that special edition is not too special. The commentaries are pretty boring, and other than that, there's like nothing else about the movie. It's just documentaries about reality TV and all that stuff. So, not too much of a special edition. Then you have another one of his films that I feel is very underrated as well. I really do enjoy this. Red Heat, with him and Belushi. I think this is a pretty good buddy cop flick. Directed by Walter Hill. I know this also has a special edition DVD, but from what I've seen, it's not too much, so I'm fine with keeping this DVD. Yeah, but I think this is one of Arnold's most underrated movies as well. I think Red Heat's a pretty good flick. Do enjoy the film. And then I think the same year as Red Heat, because I think Red Heat was 88, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure, yeah, 88 says it here on the back, 88. I think this film was also in 88, and this was definitely a bigger hit. Because Red Heat didn't do that well in 88, but I think this film was 80. Yeah, this was 88 as well, and this was definitely a big hit for Arnold, and it's one of his first steps into comedy, Twins. I think this is a really fun comedy with him and Danny DeVito. Fun back and forth. Directed by Ivan Reitman, who did Ghostbusters, among others. I just think you also have Kelly Preston in the film as well. I think this is just a really highly entertaining flick. I think Arnold and Danny DeVito have great chemistry with each other. Really do enjoy Twins. Next up is another great comedy film. And this was I think this is a pretty solid hit for Arnold, and I think this is another great comedy film that he did. Kindergarten Cop. I think this is a very fun flick. A lot of fun. Also directed by Ivan Reitman, who did Twins. So Ivan Reitman did Arnold comedies back to back, and I think both of them are great. You also have Penelope Ann Miller in the film as well. And you also have Miko Hughes as one of the kids, you know, the little kid from Pet Sematary. Of course, he was in Full House and things like that. You've seen him in a lot of stuff, Miko Hughes. But Kindergarten Cop, very fun film. And then also the same year he had Kindergarten Cop, he also had another huge hit, which is another one of my favorites, Total Recall. This is a good special edition DVD. But classic film, Total Recall. Next one here is another really great one as well. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is the tin DVD. The old Artisan Ultimate Edition tin DVD. Terminator 2 is great. Next one here is a film that I think flopped. I don't understand the hate this film gets. I think it's a highly entertaining flick. Last Action Hero. This is the other one that was directed by John McTiernan. I think this was a few years before he did Die Hard 3. Because I think this was 93, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it's 93. Yeah, I'm almost positive this was 93. Pretty sure. It doesn't say anywhere, but I think this is a very highly entertaining flick. Really do enjoy The Last Action Hero. And you have another one here that's a classic, was another huge hit for Arnold, True Lies. Love this movie. Here's a flick right here that I think is another one of his underrated movies. Doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but I think this is a really underrated one. Eraser. You got him and Vanessa Williams, James Caan as your villain. Directed by Charles Russell, also known as Chuck Russell, same guy who did The Mask, The Blob from 1988. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good flick, Arnold, Eraser. I think it's a pretty good flick. Here's another one of his that gets crapped on a lot. I have a lot of fun with this movie. I think it's a fun holiday movie. Jingle All the Way. I think him and Sinbad are a lot of fun together. You also had Rita Wilson, who would later marry Tom Hanks. You also have Phil Hartman, the late great Phil Hartman, and James Belushi actually has a small role in this, where Arnold is trying to get the Turbo Man toy, and Belushi plays like a fake Santa who's also kind of like a con artist, like crook. You have a lot of really good cameos in the film. You have Harvey Korman has a cameo, from the Carol Burnett Show, has a cameo in this. Curtis Armstrong from Revenge of the Nerds, he makes an appearance. There's a few other people in here that you'll recognize as well. Even when Arnold's fighting the Santas, you also have cameos by the late great Vern Troyer, who plays one of the little Santas, and I think he was known as the Giant. I don't know when he was known as. I'm not too familiar with wrestling, but the Giant, now he's known as Big Show, is one of the Santas. But it's a pretty fun flick, Jingle All the Way. Directed by Brian Levant. Yes, I do own this film. Batman and Robin, where he plays Mr. Freeze. Just so cheesy. Here's my favorite Arnold film. I love this movie. It's my favorite one. End of Days. Of course, I just showed this. Met Robin Tunney at Monster Mania. Signed the inside of it there. But yeah, End of Days is great. I love End of Days. That's my favorite Arnold film. And the last one of his that I have in my collection is the only film I have of his on Blu-ray, because I was finally able to find this. I was just trying to get this on DVD, but I found the Blu-ray of it for like $3, and I grabbed it. Another one of his underrated ones, Collateral Damage. Love this movie. So, there you have it. That is my entire Arnold collection. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Alright guys, take care.